I think it might be time for Emily to give you a haircut.
I know. I've been begging for one. This has been a big issue over the last, because I canceled a haircut a week before we started quarantining because I was just lazy. So I went into this needing a haircut. So it's gonna be a long, however long this thing.
I actually think it looks good long. It looks good, I think. What do you think, Emily?
I love it. I think it's great. And also I don't want to cut it. So I really love it.
It's very hard to control.
You have pretty hair, Kumail, not to be weird, but
oh no, that's nice. Thank you. Well, here's the issue. Like, you wanna get a haircut. If you're gonna cut your own hair, you wanna cut it early enough that it'll grow out by the time quarantine ends, but not so early that you have to cut it twice. So
yeah.
It's a weird math.
I don't know if you've noticed, but Kumail is a bit of an overthinker at times.
You guys are doing a podcast together, right?
We are. We decided now was the time. We're home. We're married. We've got the time. Let's do a podcast.
It's called Staying In with Emily and Kumail. And Emily is a trained therapist. She doesn't practice anymore, but we were like, oh, she actually has a skill set that would be very relevant right now. So she sort of gives tips to people on how to keep your head about you in this strange situation. And
Kumail is funny.
I don't have any skill.
What kind of advice are you giving people to get along with their significant other these days?
I think you need to have alone time. You need to have scheduled alone time. I think if a fight starts to happen, to kind of, everyone needs to acknowledge we're in a heightened time right now. So everyone is heightened. So maybe this is not about who did the dishes last. You know what I mean? Like, just giving a little bit of understanding to each other. Like, I'm not really mad at you. I'm really just freaked out about this whole situation. And maybe we're going to argue for a minute, but this is not about us. And I also think we do a good job of having separate areas. Even if you have a small place, just having separate corners sometimes, having separate laptops that you're on, having separate anything so that you're not constantly in each other's faces, I think helps. We have one standard question, which is, what weird thing made you cry this week?
Yeah, what weird thing made you cry this week?
Gosh, what weird, well, I think everything makes me cry right now.
Right.
Actually, every night when I see in New York City, everyone leaning out of their apartment buildings and cheering all the healthcare workers, I just, honestly, I get very emotional every time I see it.
Yeah, I had a conversation with a nurse a few days ago, and for me, it was very moving. I was crying too, but it was really seeing someone who was so truly selfless and putting themselves in harm's way and saying, well, this is what I do. I take care of people, and sort of ignoring her own personal safety to take care of people. I found that very moving. The other thing I found very moving, Katie, was I saw a picture of bread and I cried. It was just a great looking loaf of bread.
Way to turn that conversation around, Kumail. That was good. That was very good. So tell us the movies and the fun things you're recommending on your podcast for people.
Oh, wow.
Well, there's all kinds of things. We've been going back and watching some classics. There's a lot of movies from the 80s that Kumail has not seen.
I'd never seen Dirty Dancing. Just saw that
Seriously?
for the first time.
Yeah. Are you kidding?
I'll tell you, I just, because I was like, this is my fault. I was like, well, I don't know if I don't dance. I don't know if that movie, it feels like it's not a movie for me.
It's a movie for everyone.
It's a movie for everyone because I watched it. And it's you know what? It's an actually good film. It's like a really good movie with like a lot of big stuff in it. And Patrick Swayze's great and Jennifer Grey's great. I can't believe I'm talking about how great Dirty Dancing is now, but all rules are out the window. So we've been going back and trying to watch older movies that we sort of missed,
We watched Funny Farm. Do you remember that Chevy Chase movie, Funny Farm?
No, I never saw Funny Farm.
It's a classic.
And I've been trying to convince her to watch the entirety of Cheers beginning to end. Hasn't quite worked yet.
There are just a couple of shows from my childhood that I associate with being like young and angry and powerless, and like that one.
Cheers
and
is one of those?
Cheers is one of those. I don't know why. It's a weird thing, but it makes me feel kind of sad and angry, and it has nothing to do with the show. It just is literally maybe hearing the theme song as a kid and kind of feeling angsty. So I can't. By the way, we have a surprise guest.
I'll tell you who's really annoyed that we're home all the time. Our cat.
So cute. Who is that?
This is
Who is that, a
Bagel.
boy or a girl?
This is a girl cat named Bagel.
Oh, so cute. Tell us a little, Kumail, about your workout thing, because
Bye, guys. See you later.
you have been showing off your body like there's no tomorrow.
No,
Lean back. Just lean back a little.
no, you can't see anything.
No,
Oh.
no. Yeah, stand up, Kumail. That's kind of objectifying, I think. But what happened? I mean, what inspired this incredible? Not you look great before, but now
thank
you
you.
look like an Adonis. What up with that?
Well, thank you for saying that. That means a lot. I will be dining out on you saying that for the next couple months. I was doing a Marvel movie called Eternals. I was playing a superhero, and I said, "Well, I'm the first Southeast Asian superhero in a Hollywood movie, in a Marvel movie," and I was like, I want to look like someone who could go up against Thor or Captain America or any of those guys. You know, I didn't want the first Pakistani superhero to also be the first schlubby superhero. That was something that I, I decided.
Schlubby and superhero they don't go together.
Well, for me, I was like, someone else can break that barrier. I want to break just the Pakistani barrier. And so I worked out for a year to prepare for that. It was, and I honestly, by the end, I really loved the process. I love how healthy I feel now. And now actually, I got some weights back in the garage, and I work out every day still.
Wow. And so did you change your diet or just change your exercise plan?
Diet was a big part of it. I mean, I cut out. It's really. Why do you think I was crying looking at bread, Katie?
And Emily, did you ever join in the fun, or would you want to do that?
I don't do the workout that he does, but I do. We both kind of work out every day, and that's been really good for us to that's been really good for both of our sanity, I would say, during all of this.
You do yoga and dance classes.
Yeah, I do. I do a lot of dance classes on Instagram now.
Oh, you do? Do you recommend any of them?
I recommend Angie Pontani. She does 60s go-go classes. I recommend Michelle Lemore. She does burlesque, kind of fit burlesque classes. And I recommend a Ryan Heffington, who just does straight up aerobics and has a lot of great energy. These are all my favorites.
You say Kumail and I say Kumail. It's obviously, am I right?
Yeah, you got it right. I've been saying it wrong this whole time. No, to me, there's not enough of a difference between those. There's a spectrum of acceptable pronunciation of my name, and you're well within it.
Because I hear Emily sort of says it like I say it, and you say it differently than both of us say it.
She's been saying it wrong for the 14 years we've been together. I didn't know how to bring it up, so thank you.
I don't usually say this, but you two are a delight.
That's the wine talking.
This
we'll
was
take it.
such an honor to talk to you. We're so excited to be able to do this. Thank you for
I've
well,
been
thank you
a fan
guys.
of you my whole life, so thank you.
If you guys like what you see, subscribe right here.